Déjà vu, the familiar anomaly. Imagine this. You're walking down a street you've never been on. You turn a corner, and a sudden, overwhelming sense washes over you. You've seen this exact moment before. Every detail, every sound, every feeling is eerily familiar. This isn't just a fleeting thought. It's a powerful, almost visceral experience. This, my friends, is déjà vu, a French term meaning already seen. For centuries, science has struggled to fully explain this phenomenon. Some theories suggest it's a brief malfunction in our brain's memory retrieval system, a momentary hiccup where a new experience is mistakenly perceived as an old one. Others propose a more spiritual or psychological interpretation, linking it to past lives or precognition. But what if déjà vu is something far more profound? What if it's a save reload moment in our reality? Think about a video game. Sometimes, you encounter a glitch, or you make a wrong move, and the game quickly reloads to a previous save point, putting you back in a slightly earlier moment to correct the error. Could déjà vu be our reality's subtle way of resetting, of nudging us back onto a predetermined path, or perhaps even giving us a brief glimpse into an alternate timeline? The feeling of having already lived a moment suggests a loop, a replay, a subtle recalibration of our personal experience within the larger simulation. It's as if the system briefly buffered, then replayed the last few seconds for some unseen reason. The Mandela Effect. Collective memory discrepancies. Next up, we have an anomaly that truly messes with our collective perception of history. The Mandela Effect. This is not about individual memory lapses. It's about a widespread, shared false memory that contradicts verifiable facts. The most famous example, of course, is the one that gave the phenomenon its name. Countless people vividly remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s, even though he was released and became president of South Africa, passing away peacefully in 2013. But it doesn't stop there. Think about the Berenstain Bears. Do you remember it as Berenstain? Many confidently recall How about the famous Luke, "I am your father" line from Star Wars? The actual line is, "No, I am your father." These seemingly minor discrepancies are far too common and too widespread to be simply mass forget. So, what's going on here? If our reality is a simulation, the Mandela Effect could be seen as a patch or an update. Imagine the developers of our reality simulation pushing out a new version, a minor bug fix, or a historical adjustment. For most, the update goes unnoticed, seamlessly integrating into their perception. But for some, perhaps due to a slight latency or a momentary glitch in their personal data stream, their memories don't quite catch up with the new reality. They retain remnants of the old version, creating a jarring disconnect between what they remember and what is demonstrably true. It suggests that reality itself isn't fixed, but rather a dynamic, editable landscape where even our shared past can be subtly missing time, lost moments. Have you ever experienced a stretch of time where you can't account for what happened? Not just forgetting a minor detail, but an entire chunk of your day, an hour, or even longer, simply vanishes from your memory. This is known as missing time, and it's a truly unsettling phenomenon. Unlike a drunken blackout, there's no clear, identifiable reason for the memory gap. Individuals report driving somewhere and suddenly being at their destination with no recollection of the journey, or going to bed and waking up hours later with no memory of falling asleep or any dreams. In the context of a simulation, missing time could be interpreted as a cutscene or an edited segment. Think of a movie or a video game, where certain less important or transitional moments are simply removed to streamline the narrative. Our life recording might have experienced an edit, with entire sections of our experience being clipped or fast-forwarded by an unseen editor. It's as if the simulation decided those moments weren't crucial for our conscious experience and simply skipped them, leaving us with a blank space where memories should be. The data simply isn't there for us to retrieve, making us wonder what happened during those lost moments. The bystander effect, NPC in action. Shift gears now to something more behavioral. The bystander effect. This sociological phenomenon describes situations where individuals are less likely to offer help to a victim when other people are present. The more bystanders there are, the less likely anyone is to intervene. It's a well-documented human behavior, often attributed to diffusion of responsibility and social conformity. However, from a matrix glitch perspective, the bystander effect takes on a chilling new dimension. Could it be that some of the people around us are, in essence, non-playable characters, In a video game, NPCs are programmed to follow specific routines and react in predefined ways. They might populate the background, offer generic dialogue, or even participate in minor quests. But they don't always initiate critical actions or deviate from their programming without a direct trigger. When an emergency occurs, and a crowd stands by idly, seemingly unable to activate the next event in the game, it raises the question: are these individuals simply programmed to observe, rather than to react spontaneously with genuine human empathy and initiative? Are they part of the background scenery, not meant to trigger the game's next critical event, leaving the player character to be the sole agent of change? This is a more unsettling thought, suggesting that not everyone around us might be operating with the same level of conscious agency. Doppelgangers, cloning, bugs. Imagine walking down the street and seeing ... yourself. Not someone who looks like you, but an exact, identical copy. This phenomena, known as encountering a doppelganger, has been reported throughout history and across cultures. From folklore to modern anecdotes, stories of seeing one's own identical twin, often at a distance or unexpectedly, persist. If we're in a simulation, a doppelganger could be interpreted as a cloning bug, or a momentary visual error. In game development, asset loading glitches can sometimes cause duplicated characters or objects to appear where they shouldn't. Perhaps our reality's rendering engine momentarily creating an unintentional duplicate of a player character, or an NPC. It could also be a momentary cross-dimensional bleed-through, a fleeting glimpse of an alternate reality where a nearly identical version of you exists, and for a split second, the boundaries between those realities shimmer and overlap. The sight of your own double is inherently unsettling, perhaps because it hints at a deeper, more complex architecture beneath our seemingly singular existence: sleep paralysis. The forced casino, waking up in the middle of the night, fully conscious, but utterly unable to move a muscle. Your body feels heavy, your limbs are unresponsive, and often, an overwhelming sense of dread fills the room, accompanied by the distinct feeling of a presence in the room, sometimes even visual or auditory hallucinations. This terrifying experience is sleep paralysis. Science attributes it to a temporary disconnect between the brain and body during REM sleep, where your mind wakes up before your body's natural paralysis has fully worn off. The presences are often explained as hypnagogic or hypnopompic hallucinations, common during the transition states between sleep and wakefulness. However, in the context of our simulation theory, sleep paralysis could be seen as a forced cuisine that you can't skip. In many video games, there are moments where control is taken away from the player to advance the narrative, present vital information, or introduce a new element. You're forced to watch, unable to interact, until the scene concludes. The feeling of being pinned down, the ominous presence, the inability to scream or move. It's as if the game has temporarily frozen your input while it processes something in the background, perhaps uploading new data, running diagnostics, or even introducing a new character or threat that you are meant to observe, but not yet engage with. It's a chilling loss of agency, a reminder that we might not always be in full control within this reality. Spontaneous human combustion, self-destruct glitch. One of the most gruesome and inexplicable anomalies is spontaneous human combustion. This is where a living human being inexplicably ignites and burns, often to ashes, with little or no external source of ignition. Frequently, the immediate surroundings remain largely untouched, suggesting the heat source is contained within the body itself. While various scientific theories have been proposed, none fully explain the phenomenon in all its reported cases, leaving it a profound medical and forensic mystery. If our reality is a simulation, then spontaneous human combustion feels like a devastating self-destruct glitch. It's as if a fundamental error in a person's code or energy matrix causes them to overheat and effectively delete themselves from the simulation. Imagine a software bug that causes a character model to spontaneously combust due to a calculation error or a corrupted file. It's an uncontrolled, catastrophic failure within the system, leading to the complete disintegration of the affected entity. It's a terrifying thought, suggesting that at any moment, some unseen internal flaw could lead to a catastrophic system shutdown for any player within this reality. Quantum immortality. The respawn glitch finally. Let's delve into the mind-bending concept of quantum immortality. This theory, stemming from the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, suggests that if your consciousness is tied to the act of observation, Then whenever you face a potentially fatal event, your consciousness splits or jumps to the quantum reality where you survived. In essence, you never experienced death, only a continuous string of survival, always observing yourself in a reality where you didn't die. From a simulation perspective, quantum immortality could be seen as a form of real-life respawn glitch. In many video games, when your character dies, you don't truly cease to exist. Instead, you respawn at a checkpoint, or simply start over. If consciousness is persistent, and if reality branches with every quantum event, then your individual consciousness might always follow the path where you continue to exist. Every close call, every near miss, every illness you recover from, could be another instance of your consciousness seamlessly respawning into an alternate, surviving timeline. It's the ultimate cheat code for life, suggesting that from your own subjective perspective, you are, in essence, immortal within this vast, branching simulation. You may not remember the deaths in other realities, but you always find yourself in the one where you live on. So, there you have it. A glimpse into the inexplicable glitches of our reality. From the familiar unease of déjà vu, to the terrifying mystery of spontaneous human combustion, these phenomena challenge our understanding of what is real, what is possible, and what might be going on behind the scenes of our perceived existence. Are they just quirks of physics and psychology, or are they subtle clues, breadcrumbs left by the architects of our simulation? The more we explore these matrix glitches, the more we realize that reality is far more fluid, far more mysterious, and far more anomalous than we can possibly imagine. We may not have all the answers, and no one can truly explain these in minutes. But by asking the questions, we begin to see the world differently. What's your favorite reality glitch? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more anomalous realities.